Hey guys, Goten here. Back with another story time with Goten. I know usually I rock either my webcam or my, some way of seeing myself to see my emotions and my expressions and all that. Unfortunately, I'm trying to bulk record to get ahead on videos and have videos ready for when Harpo doesn't actually get his uploads ready in time. That's a joke, Harpo. But, or is it? But no, anyways. Enjoy this gameplay in the background. Instead, I apologize. Any future story times we go 10 down, make sure to try to include my face in one way or another. Like I said, gotta get ahead. But anyways, we're gonna be talking about my worst teacher ever. Now, granted, I'm about to be a senior in high school. Well, if school even happens here, God knows at this point. But so obviously I got at least that year. Then if I go off to college, trial for many years, I have chances to have worse teachers. But it's going to be hard to top this guy. So we're going to call him, what's close to his actual name? We're going to call him Mr. Oak, not like the Pokemon professor. So Mr. Oak was my biology teacher sophomore year. Now I had heard horror stories about how he was terrible and his class sucked and he was an asshole. All of those are true, but I had pretty low expectations going in, and he still blew him out of the water. I was part of his 8th period. Now his 8th period had the worst kids, to put it bluntly. There was me, one of my boys at the time, and one of my other friends. We'll call her Christy. Sure, why not? That was the first name that popped up in my head, don't know why. We were probably, and some other chick who seemed like an okay person, were probably the only people who didn't constantly piss him off and not do shit in that class. So, you can tell that's pretty great. Half the other kids left by the end of the year. They just didn't come to class anymore. So that's cool. They got put on like an online thing to get their credits. I think. Whatever they did, they disappeared. But that's the moral of the story on that. But yeah, it started off pretty shitty. The way he runs his class is old school, and not a great old school. Pretty much he gave us the portfolio for the whole entire year. Everything we had to do the whole year, which, would think would be great. Didn't explain how it works at all. It's really old, hard to read. So, if you are like an average student, you're probably not going to understand it. I managed to bullshit my way through the class with passing grades, so there's that. But not everyone could, probably, and I understand. So... but yeah, so we had to do this work. It was all book work and tests. That's literally the entire thing. Then like folder checks. You had to keep a folder of all your stupid ass book work. So we do it for every chapter that we did. We didn't go through every chapter. We skipped around a little bit, which is weird. But yeah, it happened. And pretty much, it was kind of smooth. People would piss him off from time to time. There'd be a video from time to time the first term. It wasn't that bad. Got to the first folder check. I'm semi-organized, at least when it comes to my school shit. So I passed that. It's like the biggest grade of the year, or of the term, sorry. It's like 200 to 300 points, which is wild, I think. No, it was 400 points, I remember. Each one was 400 points, and at the end of the year, there was a massive folder check where you had to have literally fucking everything, and it was worth like 800 points. That's not a fucking joke. It was wild. I didn't get to show up because I was out with... Shit, why was I out? I can't remember, but I was out the last few days, so I literally failed that, but I had such a good grade in that class that last term, just because I turned in my shit, and all we did was watch videos, that I still passed with like a C or a D, I can't remember. And I had like a B or C the rest of the term, so I passed. So, that's pretty cool. And didn't do too terribly. I just got bitched at for 10 minutes when I got home and got my report card for that term. But yeah. So, moving back a little bit. First semester goes alright. He pisses people off, they piss him off. Here's where I bring up his turtle. He has a turtle that can walk around. That just walks around freely. Will piss and shit in the room. Pissed in front of the door multiple times throughout the school year. Shit twice during my class period. And pretty much it was just bad. It was just bad. Just walk around, have fucking food in her mouth. just throw that shit everywhere. It was bad, bro. Also, we got banned. He runs the our school had like a planetarium kind of thing. It's the coolest thing our school has. He's the person who runs it. We got banned from going our class period because our class period was assholes, which is kind of funny. Kind of sucks because I actually like the planetarium. It's pretty fucking cool. Mr. Oak's a bitch, but the planetarium itself is actually pretty fucking dope. It's the coolest thing our school had. Probably the most expensive thing too. But yeah, it was just bad. His turtle come out of being banned from the planetarium, come out of the way his class worked, come out of him being a bitch. Not actually, he was actually kind of funny at times, and he's not like the worst. Like when everybody skipped, and all the bad kids is I have to call that for lack of a better term, skipped, and it was just literally there was a day where there was only 3 of us. It was 2. One of my friends at the time, one of my friends who I'm still friends with now, I completely forgot he was in the class because we didn't become really like good friends until junior year. It was just us. So he gave us cheese balls. He had a whole thing of cheese balls. He literally dumped them all in like 3 styrofoam cups, gave us all one. And we watched a movie. That was the coolest day in that class, and he was actually pretty dope. On days where they didn't piss him off, he was kind of funny. He'd crack jokes and shit. Some days we'd watch the, I can't remember if it's just called Dinosaurs, but the fucking, I think it was just called Dinosaurs. I don't remember. But the fucking show where they all die in the end, you know, that, that one. Fucking old, I can't remember what, 70s or 80s or some shit. Older show. We got to watch a couple episodes of that. That shit was funny as fuck. I want to watch that shit, but I don't have a way to. For free, of course. But that was funny shit. Days were like that were good. However, those were in the minority. It was hell every other day. Tests were ass. And the few, like, quote-unquote labs he tried to do, which weren't really labs, it was more book work, pretty much. It was ass. Also, if we caught you with your phone, he would take it till the end of the day. But, like, he was so fucking blind that I would just play it on my phone every day because I did all the book work for, like, the chapter we were doing in one class period, then just played on my phone until we took the test, and rinse and repeat. Yeah. Yeah, that was his last year, too. He retired after that year. But, yeah, that was Mr. Oak. He was there for an entire another year just trying to get his shit. He had, like, 3 or 4 U-hauls of shit to get out of his room. He had a bunch of, like, dinosaur figurines. He had a map. This was pretty cool. He had a lot of fun stories. He's an older teacher. He gets sidetracked and tells a lot of stories. I'll give him that. He had a map with, like, markings of everywhere he had been, which he doesn't have kids or anything, so, like, he can afford all that with a teacher's fucking pay. They really should probably get paid more. Maybe we'd have better teachers who cared more, but that's besides the point. Especially where I live, they don't get paid shit. They crack jokes about it all the time. But yeah, that was Mr. Oak. If you want me to tell more stories about some of my teachers I've had, good and bad. I've had good and bad, obviously, teachers. I've had a lot of great teachers as well. I have a couple other stories as well. I have a lot of stories that just kind of pop up in my head, and then I, type them down or write them down or whatever so I can tell them, because they just pop up at random times in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. That's me for you. If you want to see any of that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, let me know in the comments. Turn on notifications if you want. Not a lot of you subscribe, so that's the main one. If you want to subscribe, that'd be pretty dope. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.